life jackets. What else floats? Life rings. We have 4 life rings on board, 2 top side with us here and 2 down below. On each deck, there's 1 forward and 1 abaft, which just means at the back of the boat. They're on holders and we keep them there at all times unless one of 2 things happens. 1, the captain or a member of the crew asks you to deploy that life ring. Feel free to, it's exhilarating. 2, you see someone slip, trip, jump, or get thrown overboard and no one else notices or seems to care. In that case, I implore you, pick up that life ring, throw it at or to the person, depending on if you like them or not. Shout man overboard over and over again and point until one of the attentive members of the crew comes over and says thank you and you're relieved. What else floats? Life rafts float. We got 3 life rafts on board. They're all topside. Should they need to be deployed, one of the members of the crew will deploy them. The captain will be where the captain is doing captain things. And all of us, including the remainder of the crew, will go down below where I will personally get you fitted in your Alaskan tuxedo life jacket. After we're done with that, we're happy with the way we look for our Coast Guard debut. We will enter the life raft using the doors we came in on or the door straight across the hall. That's it for things that float. Now yesterday morning, when I first recorded, I met the captain and he told me all the stuff we need to do. I was very motivated. You see, I spent many years in the Marine Corps where I developed an unhealthy appreciation and love for rules, order, and discipline. So because I don't sleep, I just put together this short list of about 216 rules for the ptarmigan. However, this morning the captain told me that was excessive. So I narrowed it down and see how good I did. Ready? Here goes. No running, no jumping, no climbing. No horseplay, no smoking, no making. And rule number 7. Rule number 7 is, if you see a door or hatch with writing on it, comma, read the writing, period. If it says anything on the door along the lines of danger, do not enter, crew only, open this hatch and you may die, anything like that, please just leave the door alone. And that's it for rules, so that's free for all on board this vessel. I do have a special request though, for my friends, 12 years old and younger. You and I both know, big people are shifty, shady characters. They wander where they don't belong, they're putting stuff in their mouth. If they see a lever, they're pulling it like crazy. You can't have that. I only have 2 eyes, and our shifty, shady crew occupies most of my monitoring. So if you do me a solid and stick close to the big person you came with and keep them out of trouble, we're going to have a good cruise, I guarantee it. I guess that's it for safety stuff. However, if you feel cheated and you want more, I can help you out. Now down below on the bottom deck on the port or left-hand side, if you walk towards the back of the boat, you will find a bulletin board with all kinds of riveting, exciting safety information. Feel free to read it for the entirety of the cruise if that's what makes you happy. Alright, so one admin note. Bathrooms. We have 3 on board. They're all on the bottom deck and they're all abaft or at the back. Now on the port or left-hand side, you will find 2 of them. One is handicap accessible, the other one's regular flavor. On the right or starboard side, we just have a regular one. Should you open the hatch, look inside, and what should be going down is coming up. Fear not, I got you. I live to do battle with apocalyptic sewage disasters. I will know what's happening by the look on your face, and I will come to you happily. You will be mentioning that it was the person before you, or you'll be honest with me, but it doesn't matter. At that point, I will get you to a clean restroom. You are happy. I will suit up, do battle with number 2. I am happy. It's a win-win. Okay, that's about it. Now for the fun stuff. Oh, wait. I do owe you a safety briefing on the way back, and I promise it will be equally boring. So now, here we are. This water we're on and the land that surrounds it. It is the ancestral homeland of the Chugach people. And they've been careful stewards and diligent protectors of this land for years immemorial. And that is why the federal government named this national forest the Chugach National Forest. So this national forest is the 2nd largest national forest in my beloved United States of America. It encompasses 5.5 million acres of land and water. We have over 10,000 glaciers, yet only 600 made the cut and get names. I don't know why. Countless species of flora and fauna, and it's hard to be on a day like today, we are the northernmost temperate rainforest. See, a day like today is not supposed to happen. If we were thinking this morning, we could have all played the lottery, because it's about the same chance as getting a sunny day like this. we get 80 to 120 inches of rain a year. Most years we get more rain than the Amazon does. Now up at our peaks though, they don't get rain, they just get snow, usually around 120 feet of it. So we usually have some really nasty weather. Alright, get ready. So if you look straight ahead, you're going to see a mountain. That's right. It's the Chugach Mountains right there. And off to our right, we got the Kenai. And both these mountain ranges are about 65 million years old. And this is how they got here. See, once upon a time, about 65 million years and a day ago, these mountains were actually an ocean floor. And they were doing whatever it is ocean floors do. Just chilling out in that, calm, bucolic life they live. But then all of a sudden, in a geological blink of an eye, the North American continental tectonic plate had a little bit of a fender bender with its Pacific oceanic counterpart. So there was a smash, a bang, some uplifting, and boom, we got these mountains. When I told you guys to look forward, of course everybody did, because I have the microphone of authority. But you probably didn't really even notice the mountain. You probably noticed this ribbon waterfall here instead. That's usually what catches people's eye. And we got plenty of these, and we'll see plenty more. So these are fed by snowmelt, and they'll do work for us from spring to fall. Then it freezes over, and I think they're snowbirds. They must go south for the winter, but they come back every year. And as cool as they are to look at, they're also doing some work for us here. That constant flow of water slowly erodes or wears away the rock face. It'll start just wearing away a groove and then a channel, and eventually, after many, many years, it'll actually carve out a full-blown valley. And these kind of waterfalls, they make a particular type of valley that we call a V-shaped valley. And for those of you unfamiliar with that letter, it's narrow at the bottom and wide at the top, remarkably similar to Captain Terry's torso way back when he was an amateur bodybuilder. Long time ago. Anyway, so that's that. Now, something about glaciers that you may not be familiar with. Glaciers are divas. They're prima donnas. If you do one, they did two. We all know someone like that. And our glacier's no different. So she was looking around with that cold blue eye she got, and she was seeing how people were digging what these waterfalls were doing, and she said, not on my watch. And so this is what she did. She said, I'm going to make my own valley. And so she used gravity to flow downhill. That's how glaciers roll. And in the process, she picked up talus and boulders and scree and Winnebagos, all kinds of scratchy, hard, rocky stuff. And she dragged them along the bedrock until she got basically to the end of our lake here. And then she got tired and she dumped those rocks off. She turned around, she andiamoed back to where she happens to be right now. And she did, in fact, make a valley. But here's the deal. No matter how hard they try, glaciers cannot make a V-shaped valley at all. They're not capable of it. But they make a different one that we call a U-shaped valley. And as you could probably surmise, it's because it's shaped like a U. And for my friends up here that had trouble with V, I'm just going to explain what U is. It's like a V, but the bottom is more roundy. And so the captain told me if I made a body reference joke about U-shaped valleys, he'd fire me. So you'll have to make it up for yourself. So, because I'm new at this, and if I was actually good at what I do, I would show you this amazing U-shaped valley. But I can't, and I won't, because it's currently 600 feet below my feet. And now, you see what I did there, if you're paying attention, I pulled a fast one with that last sentence. See, leading up to that, I lulled you into complacency with exactly one fun fact per sentence. Yet in that last one, I snuck an extra one in. I call that economy of words, which I just wasted with the explanation. But in case you were only expecting one and you stopped listening, I'll go over it again. So the Portage Glacier carved out a U-shaped valley here that our lake currently fills. And our lake is 600 feet deep. See what I did there? Might tear my shoulder. I'll pat myself on the back for that one. Okay. So I'm not from here. I'm not from Alaska. I'm from New York. I said New York. Oh, nobody wants to come back from this cruise, do they? All right. Anyway, I'm from the Bronx. And I wasn't sheltered growing up because nobody in the Bronx is. I mean, I grew up, I had my 14-inch RCA black and white TV. I used to watch, all the nature shows on public television, so I thought I knew what to expect when I got here to Alaska, 40 years later. But let me tell you something. When I got on board this boat yesterday morning and met the skipper and the crew, after I did that, I did what you folks probably did. I looked over the side into the water. And I can't tell you how pleasantly surprised and shocked I was that the water in Alaska is just as pristine and beautiful as the Hudson River. I mean, look at it. I don't know how they did it. I mentioned that to the captain, and he ignored me, which he kind of does a lot. He always keeps his back to me. But anyway, and then I was surmising out loud perhaps what would be causing all this beauty here. And eventually he did speak to me. He said, maybe you should learn something about Portage Lake so you don't embarrass yourself tomorrow. And I said, well, I'll embarrass myself either way, but it's